Chris Bisson, CEO of Value Connect, and I'm joined today by Craig Whitman, CRA, professional appraiser from
Winnipeg.
Winnipeg, Manitoba. Craig, you've been appraising for many years. One of the questions that we get asked at Value Connect about our mobile inspection app is it actually easy to use?
Absolutely. I'm not exactly one of the most technologically advanced guys, and I found it simple right from the get-go. We're up and running with it almost immediately. There was no issues whatsoever. Our notes were clear and concise. The pictures were accurate. The labeling was all good, and my wife, who is also an appraiser, and my assistant found my notes were far easier to read, and it was great.
So you were up and running with this thing in just a couple of days, your
Absolutely.
whole team.
Everybody could do it.
Another question we get asked from time to time is, does the tool have a sketch tool embedded in it? Some appraisers tell us they want to put a sketch in their reports. Some say they don't always put one in. What can you tell the folks that are listening about sketch?
Unfortunately, I know you guys are working on the sketch right now. It doesn't have that capability, but I just carry a small field notebook with me and do my sketches in there.
Okay.
It's even far simpler than before.
So is that something like a little field sketch notepad fits in your pocket, back pocket, you take it out?
Fits in my back pocket. And
do a little sketch,
sketch
write
it
down,
in, label it, measure it, we're done.
and then what do? You take a picture of that?
Take a picture of it right within the app and then send it back to the office.
Okay, great. We also get asked, what's the cost?
Well, initially, the first 10 inspections are free, and then after that, it's $50 a month. You can do quite a few inspections for $50, and it more than pays for itself in having clear, concise notes and a good digital file to keep in your appraisal records.
Right. Well, just for the folks who are watching, it's unlimited inspections for $50 a month. Some people ask us, what does this thing output? Like, what's the output even look like? What do you get after you do the inspection?
Well, what we do is it comes in a zip file, which is what gets sent back to the office.
How do you get that?
It basically, we just send it directly from the app.
And how is it received?
They get as the zip file, which inside the zip file has all the pictures labeled, so that my assistant doesn't have to phone me 50 times and ask me, what is this a picture of? Or is this picture the same as this picture? And then there is a PDF file that lists all your other notes and all the descriptions of the individual pictures with the picture, so you don't get confused, right on it.
So it's pretty detailed what you get.
Very detailed.
And just to be clear for everybody that's watching back at home, you receive this by email, right?
Correct.
Okay. All right. So it's super simple. What do? You click a button.
Click
and
a
then
button.
It shows up
and
at the
it shows
office.
up at the office. And I work generally all over the province, and I have never had a problem sending it from someplace. Might have to move a few feet, but I always get it there.
But it gets there.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the customer service like if you ever run into like a problem or you have questions?
Well, like I said, I'm technologically challenged, so I've called more than once because something I thought was wrong. The guys have always been able to answer my questions right away, pick up the phone, answer it. I mean, I've got my answer, and we're up and running in no time again whatsoever.
So
it's been really good.
Service has been good.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, great. What about other mobile apps? Did you do any research?
We tried a couple of things. We also even tried doing something on our own, and it just, the consistency, the quality, the formatting were not useful to us.
Okay.
So completely.
So this is a step above.
Far beyond.
Okay. What kind of phones does it work on? Because this works on mobile phones. It also works on tablets, but it's built for phones. What types of phones does it work on?
Well, I know that it works excellently on my iPhone, and I understand it also works on the Android phones as well. Having never used one, I don't know, but yeah, it's. I'm sure that if anybody gives it a whirl, they'll find it just a piece of cake to work with.
Great. That was one thing that was important to us, was to give somebody a tool that they're already carrying around in their pocket, and that tool happens to be a mobile phone, right? It happens to be either an iPhone or an Android phone. So yeah, it works with both of those, and we have some appraisers using tablets as well. But it really shines when you're using it on a phone. Would you say?
Absolutely. It's so easy to have everything right in the palm of your hand, and all your notes, all your pictures, everything is labeled, everything is, and you have a really good digital file when you're done for your work file.
Right. So you mentioned in a different video that this app saves you personally 30 minutes per file. Does it really do that?
Yeah, it does. It's more detailed in the information I'm feeding into it
Mm-hmm.
and sending back to the office. But literally, I don't have to download pictures. I don't have to try and get my notes sent to the office, or wait to get home to download pictures and stuff, things like that. So all that stuff is getting to my office, and my wife, my staff are, in general, they're ahead of the game because they can start working on this right away.
And you had mentioned there's less phone calls that you take, less questions you have to answer. Why is that?
Well, because my handwriting leaves a bit to be desired, and let's face it, I get calls, what does this say, or what is this picture? So now they've got that clear, concise picture, detailed notes on each individual room or each individual picture, if you take multiple pictures of a room.
Yeah.
And they can work with that, and they don't have to phone me to say, what does this say? That kind of stuff.
That's great. That must take some pressure off too. Provides a little bit of peace of mind if you're not constantly having to be on the phone answering questions and thinking about the next inspection.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, thinking about a firm owner that might have a few appraisers, maybe some candidates, and maybe they would want to implement this for a whole company, their whole team. What would be like maybe the one or two big benefits for that group or that person?
The biggest benefit would be the consistency of your work product and your work file. You're going to get clear and concise labeled pictures. You're going to get clear and concise notes for each and every room or each and every part of the property you've described in there.
Right.
And it's all going to be legible. I'm not going to lie, my handwriting leaves something to be desired, and you'll find that most appraisers are running through a thing.
Through
It's
a house,
not
they're
always
they're
as
trying to write as fast as they
you're
can.
trying to write as fast and as much as you can, but it's not always that easy.
Mm.
So it's going to give you that clear, concise report into your office for your work file. It's a good teaching method for candidates because you're going to be able to say, okay, what you need to concentrate on now is a little more of this, or your description needs to improve in this, those kinds of things. So you can get all your appraisers more or less having the same verbiage even
Right.
to carry on so that your report from your firm is exact.
And not to mention, say, like there's turnover, right? So
Absolutely.
3-5 years down the road, if there's some kind of a claim or if somebody needs to go and refer back to the notes of an appraiser or candidate that's no longer with the company, you'll have that digital work file. You'll be able to read their notes from the inspection and be able to deliver the information that you need to for whatever that purpose is at that time.
For sure, because it's not handwritten, because it's very easy to deal with, and the descriptions are going to be clearer and more concise. For myself, I've added more description each time I do one.
So you work in a team, right? There's three
That's
of you.
correct.
3 of you right now. What about the lady or the guy who's working as a single operator? Would this app benefit them too?
Absolutely. They can easily download all their stuff. They send the file home to the office. Okay? They easily download all the pictures. The pictures are labeled. You've done your job on site. It's detailed. Sometimes you can't read your own writing.
Right.
So you've got all the information there. Zip, zip, zip into your report. Then you start your analysis for your comparables, and you're done.
And with the PDF, it's easy to copy and paste your notes into the report, right? So there's a lot less transcription.
Absolutely, because I tend to speak more or less in what what I would say in the report that I was typing.
Right.
So I cut and paste it, put it in, and then I read it, add ands, buts, periods, commas, and things like that. So I edit it, but I don't have to retype the whole thing and
Right. So,
unpack.
so for the single operator, it's still going to save them about 30 minutes a report because they can copy paste all the notes that they've dictated
Yeah.
using the speech to text function, and then all those pictures are right there in the zip folder to drag and drop into the report.
Easily.
Okay.
Yeah.
What were you going to add?
I was going to add that you have to learn to enunciate your words a little better.
Right.
But that's with any language, text, whether you use it on your computer or that, and you will find yourself learning to speak better or more clearly.
So that's a benefit of the app.
Yeah,
We
I
all-
don't sound like
we
I'm
all end
mumbling.
up talking a little
I don't
bit
sound like
better.
I'm mumbling. You know?
Oh, that's great, thanks. So Craig, you, after a couple months you were using this, you told me something that the app changed your life. How did it change your life?
Well, I think the simplest way to say it was it gave me more of my time back. I don't have to work on the weekends anymore because the stuff I did on Friday's done.
Right.
And you know what?
Is your day a little shorter too, or is it still the same? But now, thank you for the weekends that you got back.
It's a little shorter each day. I don't have to rush home and cook dinner and start working again. I can spend a few minutes doing something other than being an appraiser.
Right, like sandbagging.
Yeah, apparently that's big in
Because
Manitoba.
That's a big deal right now.
Yeah, it was,
in the
yeah.
spring, anyway.
Yeah. Shoveling snow in the winter, that
Right,
kind of
right.
stuff.
Well, thanks for joining me today, Craig, and thanks for sharing your experience
Not a problem.
with the app.
Thanks for giving us the app.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.